Hello everybody. I wanted to look at the last few questions on the sheet that we didn't get to go over on Tuesday night. So actually this is the second question, so I'm going to go back to the first one. Okay, so these are other problems involving the normal distribution. So we're going to work with the normal distribution in terms of z-scores. So you remember that we can take any raw score and standardize it by creating a z-score, right? So remember, to find the z-score, what we do is we take the score or the raw score, we subtract the mean, and this is x bar. So the mean is x bar, we subtract the mean from it, and then we divide by the standard deviation. And that gives us a z-score. So that's what we have here. So for each of these three examples, what I've done is I've already taken a raw score and made it a z-score. Okay. So we want to find the percentage of area under a standard normal curve that is specified. So here is the standard normal curve. That's with z-scores. And remember, the mean is always 0, and the standard deviation is 1. So I know that between 1 and -1 here is 68% of my data in the distribution based on the empirical rule. I know here between -2 and 2 is 95% of the data, and I know between -3 and 3 is 99.7% of the data. Alright, so I can use a table, however, that I gave you on Tuesday night to help me find specific z-scores. So here I have -1.48, so that's going to be somewhere here, maybe right here. And what I want to do is I want to find the percentage of area. So that's going to be the percentage of scores, or the percentage of data values that are below z -148. So below z -148 is this area right here. So this is below the z-score of -1.48. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, this whole thing is 1, or 100%. So this side is 50%. And this side is 50%. So as a decimal, that's going to be 0.5. And this one is 0.5 as well. So this whole thing, this whole side is 0.5. It's 50%. But I want to find just this past -1.48. This area past. Alright, so if you look at that sheet, and I'm going to go down to that sheet now, so I'm going to skip over a few things. Okay. I just was making sure that my writing would still be there. So I'm going to go to this chart that I gave you. And what I'm going to do is, you'll notice, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for 1.48. So you'll notice that if my z-score is here, that this chart will give me the area from the mean over to the z-score, regardless of whether the z is positive or the z is negative, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. I'm going to look for 1.48. Here is 1.48, and it looks like it's 0.431. So when I go back here, I know that this area is 0.431. That's actually not true. don't listen to that. That's not true. What is 4.31 is actually this area. Or 0.431, sorry. So we're going to use subtraction here because if this whole thing is 50%, and then this is 4.31, if I subtract 4.31 from 0.5, I'll get what this area is, which is what I want. So my technique here is going to be to take 0.5, and again, I apologize for the way that I write with this mouse. And I'm going to subtract this area because I know that that chart gives me from the mean over. So I'm going to subtract this area, and then I'll have what's left. So I'm going to subtract 0.431. And when I subtract 0.431, what I get is 0.5 minus 0.431. I get 0.069. So that's the percentage of data that is below a z-score of negative 1.48. And so this is a decimal. To change it into a percent, I'm going to move the decimal place over 2 places, and I have 6.9%. All right, let's try the next one. So here I have negative 1.3, so that's going to be over here somewhere. Negative 1.3. And negative 0.75. So negative 0.75 is going to be here. So what I want to do is I want to find this area. The area in between those two numbers. What percentage of the data values are between these two? Alright, well let's think about this. So, I know that if I can look in the table and I can find from here over to negative 1.3, and that'll be a certain area. That'll be this whole area here. This whole area. But what I want to do is I want to subtract the area from 0 over to here, because I don't want that. I just want this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area for negative 1.3, and I'm going to subtract the area for negative 75. So I have to find two areas in this case. So let me go to my chart, and I have 1.3, let's see, 1.3, 1.3, 1.30, that's 0.403. So 0.403. That's what this whole area is. And now I'm going to find just this area, and I'm going to subtract. So let's go to my chart. I need to find 0.75. 0.75 is 0.273. 0.273. Okay? So now 0.403 minus 0.273 is 0.13, and so that is 13%. So 13% of the data values fall between those two z-scores. Alright, let's look at the last one. I want to find the z-scores above 1.53. So 1.53 is somewhere over here, maybe right there. 1.53. So I know this whole thing is 0.5. So I want to find this. So what I'm going to do is find the z-score, or not the z-score, but the area that goes with a z-score of 1.53, and then subtract it from 0.5. So let me go to the chart. 1.53 is right here, 0.437. So I'm going to take the entire area, 0.5, and subtract what was it? 437. And that's going to give me 0.063, or 6.3%. All right. I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, let me know.